Welcome along. We're here for round 10 of the Formula Aero season. We have two drivers already retired from the session. We've got a few qualifying bans being served. We've got a few people running late to the session here in Mexico. Fozzie's and Blueford, after misconduct in the previous race, received qualifying bans. We've got Peter Bott and Shano, who are also meant to be serving qualifying bans. That's who was missing, Quiet Boy. It was Shano. We've also got a few race bans for this race. We've got Metal Medal, MH, and Hotshot Hippo. Three drivers all serving race bans today after exceeding maximum penalty point allowances in the season. 13 points the current total for Hotshot Hippo, 10 for MH, and 8 unfortunately for Metal Medal, who has to sit out a race over that. But we're here in Mexico, one of the trickier tracks on the calendar, and I'm joined, as always, by Mr. 7K himself. We've got last season's podium sitter and P8 starter with an absolute craptastic lap in his qualifying session, Quiet Boy 0209. How are you looking forward to this race, Quiet Boy?
Yeah, no, I think this will definitely be a very good race. I mean, in my eyes, it's really all Max's hands, as obviously Gaffo isn't here this week. Of course, he'll be here in Vegas, but I definitely am very interested to see how Max does, because he knows he can win this championship, especially with Gaffo not being here. He just has to, I'd say, has to win this race if he wants a proper chance at it, I'd say. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, and one of the harder tracks to drive on the calendar we're on board now with Is That Me. Starting the first run in this qualifying session, track limits are going to be a big thing this weekend. He's going to slam on the brakes at the 100 into turn 1, and he seems to get it turned in quite nicely through turns 2 and 3, struggling for traction on that exit of 3, just jumping over that curve in the wrong way. Very easy to do around here, down towards turn 4 now, hard on the brakes and getting the car turned in, just barely missing the apex there. It looked like a decent first sector though, especially for a banker. Now he's just got to hit this double right quite nicely of 6 and 7. No one make the joke. And now the left-hander of turn 8, starting the trickiest part of any track, the S section. He's struggling over those curves, very hard to get it right. Flicks the car left and right through the chicane at the end of the section. He's at the end of the middle sector, 50-71 currently. But this final sector can catch any driver out. Careful on track limits on the exit there, and then just slowly roll the car through the hairpin of the stadium section and into the final corner now to finish his lap. He nearly invalidated there, and it was a very poor final corner for Is That Me, so he crossed the line. It is a 16-8 opening lap, and we're really quickly going to be seeing if Sir Nathan Yu is now shown online, and he is. Yari spams L2 coming out of the gate very handily. Much better lap for him. Ollie 1G can only go third fastest for the time being. Got coming through the final corner, Lucas Spurs 10. Important lap for him, and it's only a 16.9. The struggles of this man continue as XD Tyler does find a time. Paying attention a little bit now to Kloppo, a driver coming from URC, just giving everyone a little bit of a chance to see what he might be able to do this evening around Mexico. Gets it through the final corner, and it is actually a beautiful run for him through there. He's going to come to the line. What time can he put down? It's a 16.3. Great lap from him to start out with. And last two to be selling laps going to be Max in the V-Carb and Gilarachi in the Mercedes. And as these first runs have panned out, looking very much like the pace we see last season, as Max sets a 15.5 to really lay down the gauntlet.
Yeah, these are definitely all very similar times to last season. Of course, I'm pretty sure Paul was around the 15.5 mark, if I remember. I'm pretty sure Nathan said it last season. So, yeah, these are the times we'd all expect, but definitely way closer than I thought it was going to be. So, yeah, I'm very surprised.
Can confirm Nathan was pole for last season. It was a 1:15.4 in FA2 last season to secure that top spot in qualifying. And obviously, Quiet Boy, you right now would be sitting nice and happily in P5 just ahead of Kloppo with your 16.2 from last season before you really started to find any form for the season, obviously ending up winning the championship. And it'll be interesting now. Bluefoot leaves the session, that's fine. He's serving the qualifying ban. He can do what he wants. And Gilarachi looked to struggle a little bit in that middle sector, but it's a decent time as he gets through there. What can he do in the stadium section? Because this is a section of track where you can just lose 3/10 and that's him losing 3/10, or you can just gain it by nailing it. There's not really much in between around this part of the track, and he's going to come across the line. It's going to be a 17-3 from the Mercedes driver. Mercedes currently the bottom two in qualifying as Ghilaracci pulls back his classic lagination as Lucas Spurs is doing another lap. Orobeng doesn't seem to be, considering how wide I saw him on the extra turn one. We're going to keep trying to get Nathan into the session. He's been wanting to join back for qualifying, just not able to, but Lucas Spurs on a much better lap than he was for his banker. Very important to him. He's going to come to the line now. What can he set? It's a 16-3, puts him just ahead of Kloppo, who's actually put down a very impressive lap time quite well. And you do remember the deal about if Kloppo beat your lap time from last season.
Yes, I do, and he actually, I will give it to him, he actually has done quite well. He's only literally a tenth behind my time I set last season, so he's doing very well. I will give him that. He's only 3/10 off 4th, so he's not doing too bad at all.
Alright, well, now we get that little lull, because around this track you do kind of all have to be on the same sort of page with what you're doing. There's a couple of cars pretty much stopped to let XD Tyler go through, and XD Tyler doesn't even have to worry anyway because he's on an outlap as it is, so not really able to keep track of what other drivers are doing. Lucas Spurs driving a very slow inlap here. I can't tell if he's just trying to extend the fuel a little bit to get one more in, but you know the tyres better around here than anyone will. Quiet boy, do you really think that's the right call from Lucas to try and do a third lap on a soft?
I wouldn't have said so. I mean, I think, you would just need to come in and get a new set of tyres, which I'll assume that's what he's doing, but I suppose we'll see if he goes for another lap. He is. Well, I did not expect that. I would have thought he would have wanted to come in, but, well, unless he thinks he can go and improve. But I mean, he's done 4 laps in them now, so I don't know how much fuel he took out as well, but
I just see why Lucas was on another lap. He wasn't actually going for another lap, Quiet Boy. He was there to give XD Tyler, his friend in real life, both of them one of them reserving for this race, a nice little toe on the main straight. He's on actually quite a good lap right now. He's 2/10 up as he comes through the middle sector. He was almost certainly legitimately purple in Sector 1. And I know in qualifying he's running a much better setup for this final sector. Will lose a little bit in the first sector to make it all back. What can he do as he comes across the line? He goes fastest with a 1:15.5, showing what he can do. Our next driver to be setting a lap. That toe has really helped XD Tyler. Half a second up as he comes into the final sector. His time is just going to keep falling and falling, especially with that major toe on the first couple of straights. He's going to be coming to the line now. What can he set as a lap time? It is a 1:15.3. Starting to throw down the gauntlet here as Kloppo not really in the best position. I think Ghilaracci, no, it's not Ghilaracci. Ollie 1G is just slowly in his way right now, and Kloppo was 2/10 down the end of the middle sector. Calls it quits on his lap. FaZe Monkey up there with a 15.9 as it stands. Orobeng on a 16.6, and Is That Me has come to the end of the middle sector. He is not happy. He has, as Shamrock, Is That Me invalidated. Shamrock finds some time. That is a 1:15.7 if I've ever seen it. And for the driver that last time we saw him racing, didn't look to have the most confidence. Great bit of pace put down from him, and maybe he is looking to try and challenge for pole this evening. Ferrari really need him to step up and put some time down, as I have Nathan on Steam, ? Orobeng is setting a lap. Let's see what he can put down though, coming back after leaving the league for a little bit. but he was definitely one of the stronger drivers, 6/10 up from where he is right now, and you never know how much time there is in that final sector. Looking on the offboard camera, he is hooking that final sector up absolutely beautifully. Little snap of the rear shows how much he's pushing those limits of the car, and he's going to come to the line. It's a 16-2, so he's lost a bit of time in that final sector. That snap really not playing nicely for him. Ollie 1G crosses the line, just usurps his teammate by a little bit, but Giderachi, again, just struggling, it looks like. He was a bit wide in that final part of the lap. He's going to come to the line now. What is he able to do? It's only a 16-8, and just puts himself only ahead of the Kick Sauber. Max is coming to the line, and that's a 15-3 I won. The times are falling, and quite nicely. Billy with half a second up at the end of the middle sector. He is cutting it really close to the line. What can he do? A 15-7, finding another little bit of time. That is exactly what he needs to do in this session. Any time you can find is great for your cause, and I think everyone now is just going to be spending a bit of time waiting for the final runs of the session, unless Is That Me wants to unsettle this balance. We've seen Quiet Boy this season that Is That Me and Kick in general have kind of ran out of sync in qualifying, and I know I did some testing earlier. There was a little bit of leeway in doing a 4-run qualifying, and obviously this would be his 4th set of tyres. But what do you think of Sauber's strategy to just not run in sync with anyone in qualifying and just try and get their own track position?
Well, I feel like around Mexico, you would love a bit of a slipstream, especially down the straight. So I just don't think it really works to find track position around here. I mean, of course, he isn't last, and he's not far off, at least, well, a couple of tenths off Giderachi, but still, you would rather want to be in someone's at least their slipstream that's not too close, like at least give yourself a bit of a jump up. But I don't know, maybe they prefer to do that. I mean, they prefer to have their own track position, but no, I definitely would want to slipstream around here, getting it down the main straight.
Well, Is That Me, obviously first driver to be setting a lap on straight, and now he's back at it again, taking us for a second run around Mexico. And MH is actually messaging me saying, can you take off my penalty points for the Gapo incident and let me race? The answer is no, as I'm finally remembering the most important part. We've not put the streaming thing yet. But Is That Me? Still not found his form back yet, but that first sector, 2/10 up, is very good from him. But obviously, one of the harder parts of the circuit now, where traction needs to be with you, where your rear end needs to be with you, otherwise you just lose everything. And it looks like some pretty decent pace from him so far. Looked very neat and tidy, not trying to abuse the track limits on this lap.
He's not doing too bad. He's keeping it clean, what he should be doing. I mean, well, lost a bit of time. He's only about a tenth up, but maybe he can find him in the final sector. I mean, this should put him probably ahead of Giderachi, you would say, if he hooks it up well in the final sector, which he, doesn't do too badly at all. It depends as well if his battery's kept his battery good.
Yeah, goes ahead of Giderachi. Not a very easy track from my experience to actually run out of battery on. I have tried around here in a qualifying session, and I can tell you for a fact it is near impossible to run out of battery. Kloppo, someone who came out of the starting grid with quite a good lap from what we expect, and obviously with the bet that we all get to laugh at Quiet Boy and call him Mr. 7K, if Kloppo goes faster than Quiet Boy did last season, he'll be looking to try and put down some great pace, and that Sector 1 did not look too bad from him.
Yep, he is up. Just, but he is up. I mean, he's in front of him, trying to get out of the way nicely.
Yeah, I mean I know he's running a low downforce setup, Quiet Boy, because he was 2/10 off my absolutely nailed first sector. Which,
oh, wow.
That was when I drove like a Jarno Opmeer style turn 1, 2, and 3. You know, where he just doesn't make a mistake. So
he's a 10th off, so
So he's on track to. But it's how much can he maximise this final sector, and it is looking very maximised. Every little bit of track being used exactly how you'd want to see it. And he comes through the final corner now. He's really abusing this car. He's going to cross the line. It's a 16-1, and we get to laugh at Quiet Boy, ladies and gentlemen. Ollie 1G on a second warm-up, I believe. He's a mile off his time in Sector 1. XD Tyler as well. I'm surprised he's not just decided to fully recharge. He might be. But he's still going quite fast for a guy that was half a second down in the first sector. As Yari just comes out on track as well, I was worried for a second to see a couple guys staying in the pits. Is that me? His session over. Lucas Spurs deciding to cut it extremely close in his car. And who's actually on a lap right now? That is the question. Ollie 1G starting his final effort as far as I can tell. Gidarachi is backwards and in the wall. Your old teammate, Quiet Boy. He might just ended his qualifying session. But I think our first driver on an actual lap right now to finish their session would have been Shamrock. But as we switch to him, a bit of a twitch over the curb. And that's it done for him. Orabeng going for a bit of lawn mowing. God knows you don't need that around here. So I actually don't know who we're going to be on board with. I don't know if Ollie 1G understands that he's invalid. Because he still seems to be pushing a little bit. Gidarachi's session is completed. So who do we actually have on a lap? XD Tyler not finding anything in Sector 1. 7/10 down on his PB. Might just be having to rely on anything going well from Ollie 1G retires on the track. That's his qualifying session over. Don't think anyone around him is still on a lap. There's actually a McLaren there, but XD Tyler realistically has nothing left in him. He is just out there, I think, about to run a massive tow for Lucas Spurs. So I think the official last lap start is Shamrock, who's not found anything in Sector 1. How was he that high up with a 28.4 in Sector 1? And he's binned it. Congratulations, Shamrock. You are the eggplant of the week, at least in terms of your league. Orabeng invalidates second lap down already. Max, he's found a 10th in Sector 1. I don't think he was lying about the 14.8 he told Yari about earlier. But what can Yari do, who is just behind him? Bear in mind. So he'll be shadowing what Max does and maybe be able to find some miracles here. Max invalidates. So Yari is the one now who is on for anything. He's a 10th and a half up. He is the only one that can challenge realistically at this point for pole. And it looks good. It looks hooked up in this final sector on board with the Belgian as he comes through the final corner now. Meriden tells Vizzy to straight line MXT. I don't like Vizzy, and Yari goes P2. He can't find pole. It's an invalidation for Billy Wiz, Phase Monkey. Can't find any more time, but Lucas Spurs is half a second up. Where can he go? Because he could unsettle the current grid. What is going on here? Lucas Spurs invalidates. So P9 on the grid for Lucas Spurs. But how close is that between Yari and Max? Less than 200ths of a second. And it's less than 300ths separating the whole top three.
Yeah, that is a very, very close qualifying between the top three. Fair play to Shamrock in fourth, right? He's done very well. They have to give it to Kloppo for being seventh as well. They have very, very good qualifying, I would say.
You just got to tell Shamrock that he fucked up his final run live on stream. There will be a lobby reset after this session, so we will be back very shortly for the race. And welcome back to live. We're just waiting for everyone to ready up here on the race director while we wait for it. A lot of people, actually every people, on mediums as it stands, but you never know how long it's taking people. FaZe Monkey switch into the hard, Orabang switch into the hard, XD Tyler switch into the hard, and we are ready to go for lights out here in Mexico City. It will be 5 red lights. Max and Yari occupying the front row. And it's lights out, and away we go, and that's a brilliant looking start. Initial getaway from Yari, but it's a poor second phase for him. As we head down towards turn 1, Max leads, but he's going to be towed all the way down the main straight by XD Tyler. It is going nearly 5 wide in the background, as everything seems to be falling apart. Yari falling down the places. Kloppo is actually in second. Now Billy Wiz takes the position back. Kloppo up to 3rd on the start. Orabang up to 7th. Chidarachi falling down to 8th. And Yari more crucially falling down to 6th. Mozzies and Ollie 1G. Running out the back. Unfortunate start for Ollie 1G. As we head into turn 4, it's going to be Kloppo and Billy Wiz wheel to wheel. Max having the dream start. And XD Tyler trying to look around the outside of Billy Wiz. There's a Mercedes wide off the track, but everything seems to be going okay. The 2 Red Bulls wheel to wheel through his turns 6 and 7. It's going very well for them in the background. Peterbot battling away with Shano. As far as I'm aware, no, not Shano, it's Shamrock further forward. And places being swapped all the time in the S's, and somehow everyone's made it through alive. As someone towards the back, it is Ollie 1G. He's spun, he's took a bit of damage, unfortunate for him. But you know who has had the dream start? It's Max in front as we see Peterbot and Blue going wheel to wheel in the final sector. The concession of position, unfortunately, for Peterbot, and now Shamrock and Lucas Spurs, 2 of the closest drivers on track. Bluefoot gets past Shamrock, but Lucas Spurs is going to be in that tow, which is oh so powerful around this track. As they head down the main straight towards turn 1, Orabang already losing DRS, a few little looks in the background there. Into turn 1, is anyone going to be able to make a move? It looks like, is that me? Taking a look on Fozzies. Fozzies makes contact with the back of Peterbot. And that's given Is That Me the chance to go up the inside, but he's been forced on the grass. And Shano, that was an egregious corner cut if I've ever seen it. Out in front though, Max taking a commanding lead, 2.5 seconds over a shock performance. Kloppo in second.
Yeah, very surprising start from Kloppo. I don't even know how he got up there so quickly, but as soon as in turn 1 he was in second, he just had a really good start. And the fair play to him, he had a good qualifying, so he deserves it to be fair, but Max will be so happy with nearly a 3-second gap, so he'll be on to extend it now and win this race.
That's what he'll be aiming for. But actually Shamrock here, looking up the inside of Yari, little bit of contact, but Shamrock pretty cleanly getting past Yari's. There's a little slide for Blue as he goes wheel to wheel with Peterbot in the final corner. Just trying to find a way through. Peterbot picks up a warning on the exit of the final corner. Running that car out a little bit too wide, and he's actually very low on battery, and a lot of these guys actually pretty much nothing on battery. Peterbot though is going to have the sweatiest slipstream in the world towards turn 1. What's he going to be able to do against Bluefoot? He pulls out very late and he's up the inside. There's a little bit of contact, but nothing major. And Blue keeps the position. Fozzie's trying to keep Peterbot honest, as they both seem to go a little bit wide. Further forward, Billy Wiz and Kloppo wheel to wheel. That DRS giving Billy Wiz that advantage to go through, and Kloppo really struggling a little bit for traction there. But XD Tyler doesn't seem to be able to make anything of it, unless on this exit he has something special.
Yeah, I mean, a 3.5 second gap now is very big now, especially reduced as well. But I have to also give credit to my old teammate.
Oh, sorry, Quiet Boy. Big little crash in the background. Fozzies and Is That Me ending up making major contact in the S's. Peterbot going very slowly as well. Looks like he's maybe had a spin. And there is a little bit of a ding-dong back here as Fozzies, Peterbot, Fozzies and Is That Me made big contact, and now just looking to make positions back. Shano does not look very happy right now. He's on his 9th set of seconds of penalties, and things maybe just falling apart in front as Kloppo. He's actually got miles back as XD Tyler now is going to be trying to take P2 around the outside of turn 1. It's 3 wide in the background. Kloppo just a little bit too deep into turn 1, but still just trying to challenge Jitarachi and FaZe Monkey for position, but he just can't get that exit down, and that is just going to allow Orabang I think what will be quite easy for a much more experienced driver as he forces Kloppo onto the grass away through. Yeah, Shano and Ollie on G towards the back. I don't know what they're doing. Is that me? Is going to go for the move now on Shano. Wheel to wheel, but Is That Me is getting pushed very much onto the grass. I think Shano doesn't have any beef with Is That Me, but he's really deep on the brakes and actually gets it stopped quite nicely. Can he get a switchback? No, a little bit of touch onto the back of Is That Me. And I think that's just his race having to settle down at this point. Dirty air with our front wing in that section isn't going to be ideal as Shamrock gets past Kloppo in an unorthodox place. That second DRS zone, and now Lucas Spurs doing just about the same. And it's not been a great second phase of the race for Kloppo, who's down to P9. As Shano and Ollie seem to still be just scrapping it out. What's Shane trying to do? He's made a little bit of contact with the rear of the Merc. And this is a fight I'm interested to see, still ramming the back of that Mercedes. As actually Kloppo and Bluefoot, they've already swapped places once on this straight. Are they going to swap again? Bluefoot looking up the inside of turn 1. The space was left, it seems. Bluefoot picking up a 3-second pen, but clatters over the curb, and they are going to be wheel to wheel on that exit. Looked like just a better exit for the Red Bull driver, but anything can happen. More ERS for the Williams, who's getting a little bit argy-bargy now as Bluefoot tries to squeeze him. It's going to be a switchback in the middle of the corner to give Bluefoot the place.
Yeah, I mean, now it's, well, actually Tyler's now second, it's now a 4-second gap, but, you know, Max will be very happy if that he's all the way in this race. And to be fair, Jeter RC has actually had a good start in P6 now, but we certainly had a poor qualifying. He's not doing too bad himself now, but the penalties are flying in now.
Yeah, it's a track.
Oh,
the race is
it's on the grass. I don't know if he hit oh no.
Oh, he's had a spin. I mean, it's such a shame for the Williams driver, as Ollie 1G and Shane seem to be having issues. Peterbot retires, and it's on the track, and that is a full safety car on lap
people
3.
are going to get lucky with hitting.
Oh my god.
What?
The absolute scenes. Look who's in the pit lane, quiet boy.
Oh.
Look who's in the pit lane. Who never pits under a safety car. He who stays out himself. Yari spams L2. Finally makes a pit stop under a safety car. And I honestly don't think this is going to affect the race at all when he's decided to pit, because it's still going to be Delta controlled until Max gets to the leader, but I'm sure anyone on that medium is going to be in. I'm not quite sure about FaZe, Arabang and XT Tyler. This makes a one-stop a lot more viable around here. And I've noticed that if you're easy enough on the hards, they will actually still be pretty fine after this safety car period, so we'll have to see. Kloppo allowed his race to resume in a bit of a better position by getting this safety car. He can get himself back onto the back of this front pack. Gary also given a second opportunity here. And a lot of drivers actually going to be quite happy with this safety car, but more interesting for me is who's going to be in the pits. I think we'll see XT, Tyler, FaZe and Orabang stay out. But I think we'll see the rest of this grid darting into the pits. Max immediately making that decision to box. If you have a second hard here, it might be worth it, but if you don't, it's going to be tight to the end on tyres. So XT Tyler does pull in. FaZe Monkey, who's heard all my crash outs about pitting, he stays out. Orabang comes in, so 2 hard runners going in, 1 staying out. And Shamrock does also pit off his 6-lap old mediums. And it's been a good stint for Shamrock, considering, you know, he's not got that much recent experience as far as I know in sim racing. So to come back to a game he says he doesn't really care about and be P6, it's a good effort from him early on in this race. And the question is, does Jitter beat Shamrock out? He does actually, and this might leave the door open for Lucas Spurs. Where's the pit exit line? And I think it's just Lucas Spurs' place to take here. Shamrock, a little bit unfortunate having to lose a few places for those who were ahead of him, because Max caught the safety car a bit too quickly. Actually, no, it's FaZe Monkey staying out catching the safety car, sorry. That's where the issues will arise. But state of the race, Shano is going to be nowhere. If we take a look at penalties, Shano and Ollie 1G with 16 and 12 seconds of penalties between them, so 28 seconds total. The rest of the grid finding a few 3-second penalties, which is to be expected around here. You know, it's a track where every corner, you know, to maximise it, you do need to be right on the limit of that track limit, and it's just so hard to manage, especially after you've just driven a qualifying session, you've had a bit of a rest between it. You know,
Yeah.
a few of these drivers I know will have taken time trial setups into qualifying and then switched on to a race setup because, you know, you've got that much lower downforce for the race setup where you want to be able to carry more speed down that straight. You'll lose between 15 and 20k an hour on the straight from race setup to time trial. So, a big difference if you're not carrying a proper setup for the race. And that's likely where Max has had a great time here. But I think one question is, if FaZe Monkey's tyres are well enough, Quiet Boy, will he be playing the team game?
Well, I would say so. And if I don't know if you remember, Leo, from last season, but when Stranger won this race, he was on hard. He started on hard, and he went there for them for about a good. Well, I think I don't remember if he'd done the one stop, but he definitely was on the hard, and he won the race because of that. So FaZe Monkey could definitely play the team green here, but I could see him getting a podium for this strategy. So I think it can work. I mean, he has done the right choice in staying out. I don't know if the old setting it off hard was the best idea, because I don't know if, like, strategy-wise, what that'll mean, like mediums, but even then, that's quite hard to get to the end of, so.
So I can run the numbers for you, Quiet Boy, right now, once I pull up my little tab about Mexico. Mexico, the mediums are quoted to last 12 laps. So I don't think anyone will make it to the end on a medium from here, because you've got 30 laps.
Yeah.
And 2 sets of mediums. So the only question is, have they brought a second hard, which can go, according to my information, 26 laps, which is just absurd to me, because I don't think I could carry a hard around here 26 laps. I think they would be screaming in pain. The one thing about this track, though, is, Quiet Boy, you've got that tyre compound jump that we've seen a couple of times now, where your medium is 1 step softer than that, is 2 stages softer than that hard tyre, which means the likes of Max and XD Tyler, and even if you look down to like Bluefoot and Sham here, you know, they're going to have a great advantage over the likes of FaZe Monkey, Billy Wiz, Jitto Archie, Quiet, Lucas Spurs, and all those guys that are on a fresh hard, because the tyres will come in quicker, and off the rip they will have a boatload more grip. It's just whether they can keep them in a good working window. And not surprisingly, no one's on the soft, because it overheats in 2 laps. What a crap time. Sorry, I've been very angry when I did like 1 practice run on a soft around here.
It is interesting, because also FaZe Monkey is the only one who literally have not stopped. Like, he's the only one basically trying this, so he may as well try it and have some fun with it, and if it works out for him, well, fair play to him, do you know what I mean? He's done his part, and he could definitely get a podium with it for sure, because those mediums are going to fall off, and I remember last season they fell off after about 10 laps. They were gone.
Yeah, I think the question for FaZe really is how much performance does he have in that hard? And one of the things I'm wondering is, did he bring the balanced allocation with him? Because that could be the reason he said, I'm going to stay out, because he doesn't believe that double set of mediums can go to the end, and he'd be right in thinking that. And here come the weaves from everyone behind, being like, oh, we need some tyre temperature. Even FaZe Monkey just about starting a little bit of weaving. He's jumped a bit there, but there's no way in hell he is going on that timing, because, you know, safety car wasn't in the pit lane. He is going to launch, I believe, on the exit of this final corner, or leave it as late as possible. He has really slowed up the field, and he has launched already. He's going to be under massive threat from behind, but it is back to green here in Mexico, lap 10, and FaZe Monkey leads the grid, but it's not going to be for long, because in his tow is his teammate in the V-Carb, Max, who into turn 1 will take the lead back of this race, and FaZe Monkey now with a big job to do on everyone behind. Sham and Bluefoot swapping places, Kloppo and Yari. a guy that Yari last race said he was scared of being out-qualified by in URC. Kloppo takes the position over Yari for the time being. Shamrock now going to take a little look back at Bluefoot. Nothing done there. As I don't know what you've seen there, but Orabeng off track, and there looked like a little bit of contact between himself, XD Tyler, and Billy Wiz. Jitarachi looking wide, and Fozzie's and Ollie 1G picking up 10-second penalties. What's gone on there in the background? There's a little bit of contact between Yari and Kloppo, who are still side by side. Into the left-hander at the start of the S's, and there's a bit of contact for Yari that sends Kloppo around a bit. XD Tyler picking up a 3-second time penalty now. As Max, again, already picking up more time. Ollie 1G picking up a 3-second. But XD Tyler still trying to get anything around on XD Tyler. Orabeng behind, just trying to find something, but can't do anything. The traction on the exit for FaZe Monkey is horrible, though. Max, an 18.6 fastest lap of this race. But now XD Tyler is going to have a massive tow on the main straight. But does he have the straight line speed? It doesn't seem he does. He must be on such high wings. Jitarachi taking a look on Billy Wiz and will make up that position quite handily and still actually be looking a bit at Bluefoot. I think there was a bit of contact there between the two of them. But now FaZe Monkey a bottleneck, and XD Tyler is looking to remove it. But again, he's just so slow on the straights. He can't do anything about it. He's carried too much wing. He was told in the chat that is way too high wings. And I don't think he's listened. Yari in P10 though. XD Tyler up the inside of FaZe Monkey. And he is going to make up the position finally against the McLaren. You remember how chaotic this race was last season. Quiet boy, you've seen nothing yet. Orabeng getting past FaZe Monkey, was a little bit off the track. And now needs to try and catch back up to XD Tyler. But DRS here will be a big help for that. But more crucially, FaZe Monkey's efforts have given Max back that lead he had at the start of the last stint. Billy Wiz and Bluefoot wheel to wheel. Bluefoot a lot better into that hairpin and just able to keep the position quite handily. And now FaZe Monkey is the biggest bottleneck on the grid, and it's not surprising. A second heat cycle through a hard is the worst thing in the world. Jitarachi is going to make easy work of FaZe Monkey. Shano picks up another 3-second time penalty, and FaZe Monkey just has to sit back and reassume P4 for the time being. Orabeng looked to have a look on XD Tyler, couldn't do anything, but can he get the run on the exit? Traction looked a little bit dodgy on the Aston Martin drive, but he's got that much more battery, that much more straight line speed. He's going to try and look around the outside. XD Tyler, though, a lot later on the brakes, so yeah, just still proving that fact that he has a lot more downforce on the car. FaZe Monkey now going to be under pressure from Bluefoot, but can't quite do anything. Fozzie's, meanwhile, is a mile off the track, parked on the apex of turn 5, because he didn't want to get another penalty. And look at this again. Max, in the one race that Gaffo doesn't attend, is 5 seconds up the road.
Yeah, he is massively pulling away. And I think that's all thanks to his teammate just holding everyone up a bit.
Oh, and his teammate doing a bit more than holding everyone up a bit. Bluefoot going for the half spin. And now he's wheel to wheel with Lucas Spurs, and Lucas Spurs just keeps the position. There was a little bit of a touch, but whether that stabilised the car or not is the big question. But FaZe Monkey has no battery. He's been having to fight so hard all laps of this race. He's going to be swallowed on this main straight. On board with FaZe Monkey. Lucas Spurs can't make up the position somehow. So FaZe Monkey only in P6, which could have been a lot worse. Yari and Bluefoot going wheel to wheel, and Bluefoot smacking off the front of Yari, and now Kloppo, everyone's favourite driver, screw bias towards Yari. Here comes Kloppo, and he gets pushed onto the grass by Yari. Oh, Yari is not having a good time against Kloppo today, I can tell you that for a fact. But FaZe Monkey may not have made the right call on this stint so far. He's just dropping places hand over foot at this point. And look at this, Lucas Spurs. You'd never see this, who picks up a 3-second penalty in the process, but you never see someone able to follow that closely through the S's unless there's a significant advantage. But Lucas Spurs still just not able to do anything. Who's running the higher wings on this grid? We know that, who was it said they were running quite high wings? I forget now already. XT Tyler, yeah, he said he was running very high wings, the guy in P2. It's working out pretty nicely for him, and here comes Phase Monkey into the pits. He must go, and no surprises there. Yari is actually launching down this straight. Shamrock, not as much battery. Look at Yari go. Down towards turn 1. Switches off the battery. He's gone to the right. He goes to the left. He's going to look around the outside of Shamrock, who's given him a lot of crap in the past, but Yari just can't make the position up, and then losing a bit of time in that first sector. But Sham now closer to Lucas. Lucas closer to Orabeng. It's going to be wheel to wheel. Is someone going to go on the grass again into this corner? No, it doesn't look like it. Lucas Spurs wheel to wheel with Orabeng. Couldn't make anything happen. Yari going for a little bit of a horseman. That's a big slide for Orabeng. On the way into turn 6 and 7. Now Lucas Spurs with the opportunity. He's going to try and look around the outside. Can't make anything happen. And now this could leave them both vulnerable to Shamrock behind. Yari just not able to stay as close. What the hell is Shamrock on as Orabeng goes for a big spin? And I thought this might happen at some point in the race. Those mediums just not able to hold up to repeated laps of abuse. And that has immediately happened now to Orabeng. He's gone around. And that drops him straight out of the top 10. And that's not very good for the Aston Martin driver making his return to Formula Aero. Now Giraci in P3 under pressure from Billy Wiz. Lucas Spurs in P5 under pressure from Shamrock. Orabeng has just been overtaken by Ollie 1G. But here comes Shamrock. And it's clean and clinical from Sham. And Yari is going to follow him through. Is Yari going to try and go up the inside of Shamrock? Not quite able to make it happen. But Lucas Spurs is all over the back of him. A compromised line for the Alpine driver. But no issues there. Orabeng retired in the pits. I don't blame him. He needed to make a pit stop a lot later than that if he wanted to make it to the end. Billy Wiz and Giraci going wheel to wheel. Billy Wiz forced a little bit off the track. They're both off the track. In fact, coming in out of turn 7 towards turn 8. And is there any opportunity there? No, not quite as it stands. But now, Yari may be a bit vulnerable from Lucas Spurs, but if he can hold himself together, actually going to be able to put a little pressure on Shamrock. And this is a great result for the two of these. Shano, obviously the second Ferrari, P14. Yeah, that's kind of what we've come to expect this season, so I can't really say anything. But now, get a little minute to, you know, breathe, drink a bit of coffee. I'm almost out of coffee, that's unfortunate. But Shamrock through the final corner. It's going to be waiting for something to happen. Billy Wiz now is going to be able to pull something down the main straight. Has more battery. Has the DRS wide open. Doesn't look to be doing anything, but it's late the move. Up the inside of Giraci he goes. And then Shamrock just proving that you're just so vulnerable. That DRS, that's a big corner cut for Lucas Spurs. In turn 1, Yari up to P5. Lucas Spurs taking a huge cut on the apex of turn 1. No wonder things haven't changed there. And now, what can Yari do with some clean air? While Lucas Spurs goes round, it looks like a bit of desync on the end of Shamrock. And Lucas Spurs comes back onto the track. And he's fallen behind everyone's favourite driver in Formula Aero, who only just got admitted to Formula Aero because I wanted someone to drive today in Kloppo. But you know, yeah, Lucas Spurs not very happy as Billy Wiz and XD Tyler swapping places on the X and the S's.
As the RS games, I wonder is that? Because I suppose Tyler is on mediums and they probably are dying off right now, I would say. But
yeah, taking a look at tyre temperatures. Not very easy to see on the wheel, but yeah, into the pits he must go. Not surprising, those hards, those mediums are gone. They were like 112 degrees on the rear left, and that is some overheating if I've ever seen it. Now Shamrock has actually fallen away quite heavily from Yari. Shamrock on those mediums though, Kloppo on the hards, and Giraci does get back past Billy Wiz. Not surprising, you know. The DRS is that powerful around this track. Ollie 1G gets past XD Tyler. Didn't realise XD Tyler was in the pits. But you know what I want to see, Quiet Boy? Do you know what I think would be really funny? Seeing Kloppo, a driver that Sham hasn't really rated, just absolutely clobber Sham. I want to see Kloppo overtake Sham before Sham comes into the pits. Because he will be into the pits soon. It's about that 10 lap mark. if you've got the second hard, then it's worth it. What are the tyres currently on? Fozzie's on 4-lap-old medium, so he's boxed again onto a medium, which not the
Very
most ideal here.
interesting. Face Monkey must have taken a harder tower allocation because he's on another hard. So in other words, he's doing a stranger and a Nathan strategy, doing the hard medium like last season. Except this time there's no safety car, so he will just have to physically go pure. Oh. Oh.
Oh, hold on. Let's just pull up OBS real quick. Sorry. Where the hell's my mic input? Oh, for Christ's sake! You can't hear clapping through my mic. Billy Whisk goes through on Jitterarchi, who is surprised, and here goes Kloppo around the outside of Shamrock. The move is made. Wow. Kloppo gets past Shamrock. 10 out of 10. Congratulations, Kloppo. You are P5. And now he has a chance to try and race down Yari. Sorry, my brain is fried for some reason. I've just had a full litre of coffee and my brain is still fried. So, I don't know what's going on there. Kloppo with a big wobble on. But you know what? I do have one thing I'm surprised about, Quiet Boy. Yari hasn't spanned this race.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, a couple 3-second time penalties there. Nothing serious. As always, and actually, something I didn't notice. Firstly, Max has lost a lot of time here. There's something going on. I think those mediums have just died on his car. Yeah.
I mean, you said they could do 12 laps. Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah, Billy Wiz and Jitterarchi are going to take the lead here from Yari, who will be currently P3. But more crucially, Yari's closing in on this front two. Slowly but surely, Shamrock coming into the pits off those mediums as well. So everyone kind of feeling the tyre wear here, and Lucas Spurs now. You know what? Kloppo did his job. He made the joke that, you know, he beat Shamrock head to head. And now he can kind of do what he wants. I don't feel like Kloppo's going to quite have the ability to gain on Yari here. He's already lost out quite a lot to the Belgian. Well, to the Belgian waffle, really. And there goes Lucas Spurs. Kloppo with a poor exit from 1, 2, and 3. Lucas Spurs taking P4 in this race to finally really show a result. You know, he's had a lot of issues recently. You know, last race, obviously, he had his wheel disconnecting. Or he had a controller. No, it was a controller placed in a way that kept his throttle pinned, I believe. So it's nice to see him coming back. Kloppo picks up a 3-second time penalty. No big deal for him. And now the top three, for the first time this race, Quiet Boy, are all within DRS of each other. For the first time in this race, we actually have a DRS battle. Never mind, Jitterarchi's fucked it up. Classic. Okay, well, you know what? For the first time in this race, we're going to have an overtake in an actual leading pack instead of someone 8 seconds ahead of everyone else. That's the way we put it. 10 out of 10. I know my words, and Billy Wiz. How the hell? Did Jitterarchi get the... No, Jitterarchi... How the hell is Jitterarchi like 5 seconds... Oh, wait. Isn't Billy on like Mega Wings or something? No, it's like Steve Tyler on Mega Wings.
No, it's actually Billy Tyler, too. Maybe Billy is.
Because Billy Wiz might just be on Mega Wing. I don't think he has my setup for this track, which typically means people are on time trial and are running 27-20 wings. Which, around a track where I'm running 11.4, and my recommendation for a setup is 0 wings on the rear. Not ideal. But Shamrock, he gets through on Blue. Not surprising. Blue won't have that DRS, so I don't think a move back is going to be... Actually, hold on. How much straight line speed does Blue have.com? Not enough with a toe and probably a boatload of overtake. But good effort from him. Going back to the front, Yari increasingly closing in on XD Turner, and I'm sure that Yari is going to want to go for this move as soon as possible. Max is on the back of everyone's favourite driver. But firstly, we've got to see what Yari does. You know, he's got a few more laps left on this hard. I know he'll be running balanced allocation, but I also know he is some sort of tyre whisperer because he took the mediums like longer than 12 laps when I raced him. God knows how. He did it around a track that I can't save a tyre on to save my life. Here comes Max. He's going to go past Kloppo. Easy as you like, and it'll probably gain him a bit of time for the leader as well. But the leader's only just coming out of turn 3, so Max, not as far back as you'd expect, but obviously had a huge gap in front. Max on a hard now to the end. So any of this top 3, if they've got another medium to go on to, might be able to challenge at the end.
Definitely.
But it's whether you can make a move. These guys seem... It's one of the tracks that I'd say are easier to overtake at. The issue is this middle sector. As Jitarachi's pulling a Jitarachi, so we're going to actually go on board with Gary here. Because Jitarachi is Jitarachi. With that amazing lag we saw in Sandboard that made us think he was out of the race 5 times. But it's one of those tracks that is easy to overtake at until it isn't. And this phase of the race is kind of where we're seeing it's not very easy to overtake. Because your tyres are wearing out, they're getting a bit hot. Everyone's managing their battery, everyone's kind of still in DRS range of each other. You know, and getting some sort of slipstream, and Billy Wiz just for some reason has nothing on the straight. But Jitarachi now, very low on battery. This is the opening for Yari. Down to turn 1, switches to the inside, and not quite able to make the move just yet. Oh. Yeah, because why wouldn't you appear on the apex of turn 1, Jitter? Thank you very much for coming along to my TED Talk, because I think Yari's just been scared out of 8/10 by Jitarachi. Max now, with much fresher tyres, has closed onto the back of Lucas Spurs, and we can expect a move there shortly. Callum and Sham having a great battle for P9 and P10. Sham was looking to win this race at one point. Yeah, just an update on that. He's not. And everything's kind of settling down. XD Tyler actually looking a little feisty on the back of Kloppo, you know, much fresher tyres for the McLaren driver. Much worse driver in the Williams. Let's see what goes on. Sorry, Kloppo, it is true that you're a worse driver, just you've done a miracle today, and that was a big wobble on the exit for Kloppo. And there would be no surprise if XD Tyler just slung it up the inside, but he didn't. Now, Kloppo could play this smart, he could pull a Jarno Opmeer F1 Esports 2021, and no, he doesn't. He doesn't just pull slightly to the left to allow XD Tyler through to get the DRS. Max gets past Lucas Spurs before even DRS is open, because why not? Yari can't get past Jitarachi because he's probably having an absolute lag bubble on his screen. Wouldn't be surprised. I think Jitarachi, as Sham sets the fastest lap of the race.
Huh.
Congratulations, Shamrock. You are slightly better than I thought you were. And Blue takes back P9. I don't think we have anything to be surprised about there because Blue and Sham have just kind of been trading places for the past like 5 laps. I think the race now...
Sham's hit the wall. Oh no.
Oh no. Shamrock's in the wall.
That might have been the tyres. He's lost an end plate as well. Oh no.
Dan, if you're watching the stream, feel free to cause a safety car right now. I will give you one-time permission to cause a safety car. I can do this because I am the stewards. But
Lucas Spurs.
Lucas Spurs going slowly. Just looks to have had a little spin, thankfully, not like a puncture or anything. We don't want to repeat the Silverstone reverse, where we had 50 punctures. Jitarachi's the first to jump for the final stint. Now the question: what tyre is he jumping to? It's a second hard. For the Mercedes driver, Bluefoot gets past FaZe Monkey, who's done quite a good job to still be where he is. Lucas Spurs retires.
On the pits.
You bastard! In the pit lane. Shamrock, the offer still stands as we begin lap 24 with you. To freely cause a safety car without penalty, I would very much like to see Fozzie's 40 from pretty much a minute behind the lead get back into this one. And also, I want to see Max get a bit screwed over here for pinning so early. So I think that would be funny. You see, we're out here in Formula Aero for comedy, not for actual racing, and Bluefoot is actually now back behind FaZe Monkey because he overtook him too early. But he will be trying to have a little bit of a ding-dong, and he goes up the inside of turns 6 and 7, and that is easy as you like. And Jitarachi, well, he has the freshest tyres on the grid right now, so absolutely sling your car around the outside, get a warning, get a penalty, why don't you, while you're at it. And easy as you like, takes the position. he does realise those track limits are manually policed, as I think.
Where's the yellow coming out? Ollie
that's
1G?
Lucas Spurs's
Or-
retired car.
Oh.
Thankfully, that was Lucas Spurs' retired car. Now the question is, what are the two leaders going to do here? You know, realistically, now is where you could push to the end on a medium. So
Well, that's
when
what I
are they
mean.
going to choose to stop?
Are they waiting for a safety car? Or is it... Well, they're definitely not getting that to the end. But I don't think you can. And if you do,
I think the
big
last
lucky.
time you raced this Quiet Boy, the hard wasn't the C2, it was the C3.
Yeah.
So there could be a chance. I think Yari does have a chance of ripping those tyres to the end. And that might be a shout, you know. You've not had many results this season. The tyre delta is... as Fozzie's is around. Yep, Fozzie is just casually backwards. He is about to lose his lap, so Shamrock, if you want to cause a safety car, feel free to, but you are in P8, so I'd understand if you don't want to. Here comes Billy Whiz to do the impossible and lap Fozzie's, because who the hell has ever lapped Fozzie's in his entire existence? Fozzie's is actually going for a little ding-dong inside of Yari here. Unfortunately, Yari's car has a full front wing, so that's not going to work. But what's happened is Yari's lost a lot of time with that, as Fozzie's picks up a 10-second penalty. I'm sure he is going to
over.
Yeah, and here comes Max. Nothing to worry about in his life, because he's just going to go through here quite handily with much fresher tyres.
Yeah.
On Yari up to P2, and now Yari needs to try and just follow Max through, because I'm sure Max is going to very quickly dispatch if Billy Whiz. Low battery for the both of them. Is a move going to be made into turn 4? No, Max just holding back for now. Letting everything come together slowly. Kloppo's still in P10. And actually going to be P9 now, because FaZe Monkey needed to make a pit stop. As Max and Billy Whiz are actually scrapping it out here, and it's not really a scrap, is it? Because Max just kind of took the place. But Max has had a slide and ghosted. So there's the position back for Billy Whiz, and more important, Max disconnection.
Oh no!
Oh no! Max is disconnected. Sending an invite, sending Brandon Clark an invite to the lobby while we're at it, because I am that bad at this. And Max is disconnected. Luckily, not a pivotal part of the race, but this could be huge for those two out in front. Billy Whiz pulls into the pits. Yari stays out. I don't know about the tyres. I can't quite tell from onboard. They look decent, probably about 40%, 50%. Max has joined back. So, thankfully for Max, who I think would be a bit pissed about losing control of his car, he's only going to lose about 2 or 3 seconds to this. Which I've seen disconnections cost your teammate Chidarachi a lot more than 2 or 3 seconds. Quiet Boy, I'm sure you've heard many times when you worked with him. But horrible times for Max, who will surely soon be back in his car and driving, but the longer he spends not in control of that V-carb, and there he is, he's back in, 2.5, nearly 3 seconds back from Yari, and I think the question is how much battery. Actually, the battery very good for Max, but I think this reinforces Yari's ideas here. You know, he's now got a bit of a gap, he's got a bit of a buffer zone, he's not got any dirty air ahead of him. Get some DRS go, get some battery in, and he's actually pulled away from Max in that middle sector. So Max seems to be struggling on the lobby rejoin. I'm trying to check if anything's going on. Those hards seem to be in a normal temperature range, he seems to have a normal amount of battery. So I'm not sure what's going on for the V-carb, but he has gained a little bit back in that final sector, about 6/10 gained back from the worst point. But this just reinforces Yari's opportunity to just try go to the end. Because I think the podium's on here no matter what. I don't know what Chidarachi's on in terms of where, but if we take a look at tyres quickly, Yari has taken these hards 22 laps so far. The limit, according to my data, is 26. But you've had a couple under safety car. So can he drag those to the end? Max on 9-lap old tyres. XD Tyler on 11. Yeah, Chidarachi on 4. 10 for Bluefoot. 1 for Billy Whiz. 9 for Sham, who's just got past a lap down Fozzie's. Kloppo, as I see in the background actually, FaZe Monkey. absolutely weaving on Is That Me's face. But Kloppo 3-lap old, and Fozzie's on 2-lap old softs. Nice overheating, mate. Those tyres are going to be deader than anything in about 2 laps. But the Belgian waffle, the Belgian fuckwit, whatever you want to call him, has a big slide, and that's given Max DRS surely. I think now, if you were going to call it, would be the time you say just pit in. You know, you had a bit snap like that, but Fozzie's is wide again. He's retired from the session, I think.
Wait.
Has he?
No, he's still there.
He's still there. Max gets past Yari. Fozzie, I thought Fozzie's was going to cause a safety car for a moment. Stand by, because he still might. Billy Wiz fastest of the race and gets past Bluefoot more than handily. Fozzie's actually all over the place right now. I think those softs are just a little bit toasty. Oh no, they actually don't seem too bad. So, Lord knows what Fozzie's has on the car right now. But some very big issues for him. But now it's up to Bluefoot, Jitter and XD Tyler to see what they can do to deny Yari. Because if Yari's starting to struggle, his pace is just going to drop more and more to the end of this race. But I want to see, can Yari take these hards to the end? The only way he's saying no to that is a safety car, I think, at this point, because with 7 to go, he surely wouldn't be wanting to make a pit stop. Because this is a very pivotal phase of the race. I can see the stream is about a lap behind, because we just got on board with Fozzie's having a crash in my top right of my screen. But is Yari going to make a pit stop and just bolt to the end? No. So I think this is his commitment now. Fozzie's 3-second time penalty. Still sticking with it on those beautifully soft tyres. That without some of his front wing as well. So as Billy Wiz goes for 18-1, he is setting the times in this race at the moment. Some great pace from the Haas driver, who I have to say has always been overshadowed by Metal as his co-driver, really. His teammate through everything. But Billy actually putting down a really solid performance while his teammate is serving a race ban for... Why did Metal get a race ban? Oh, because he had that one incident. So, yeah, he had that one incident that Smurf illegal overshadowed by getting banned from the entire season. But Billy Wiz, more crucially, is now within DRS of Jitarachi. And is Jitarachi going to be as hard to overtake for Billy as he was for Yari? Because I can tell you, Yari was never getting past that Mercedes in a month of Sundays.
Definitely not.
And obviously, talking point of the race is going to be penalties. Jitarachi, 9 seconds, 3 for Billy Wiz, 6 for XD Tyler. So you know what, Quiet Boy? It's going to be Max from Yari, from Billy Wiz, the end of this race.
Yep.
That is my final prediction with 5 to go on this track. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. No. It's Kloppo. He's gone for a little wobble. He's gone for a little spin. But you know what? 10 out of 10 performance from you so far today, Kloppo. Even if Is That Me beats you by like 2 seconds, you still beat everyone. Fozzie's is a lap down on Ollie 1G. Remembering that Ollie 1G in his first ever race in FA went a lap down. So, how have you done that, mate? That is what I would love to know. Oh no, he might not be a lap... No, he's not quite a lap down on Ollie 1G. I think if he makes one more mistake and has to bid again, he will be. But Billy Wiz, the only real threat in this race to anyone right now, but he's 10 seconds off anyone that he can be a threat to. You know, realistically, he needs to get past Jitarachi and get to within 3 seconds of XD Tyler just to secure a podium here for Haas, which would be beautiful. It won't be beautiful if you keep cutting corners like that, Billy. Do not cut more corners. You have not many penalties. You don't have enough penalties to do that right now. If you were ahead of XD Tyler, I'd say sure, because you're never beating Yari. Yari is the GOAT. Because somehow, he is actually taking a hard. What lap are we on now? How many laps? He's done 26! So apparently the tyre should explode. According to all data that I have on this mobile telephone, Is That Me picks up another penalty, Yari should have a puncture by now. So you know what, Data? You're wrong. Billy Whiz, easy move on Jitarachi. Happy as anything. ST, you understand your job is to do the race reviews, mate. You kind of have to do this. Quiet boy, give ST some shit from me while I drink some water.
Very interesting. Well, you would assume because of the safety car that Yari's tires won't pop, but and he obviously outdrafted them very well, but it probably depends on how slow he'll have to go. Obviously, everyone behind him has penalties, so he'll be fine in that scenario. It's just more of how slow will he have to go to keep his tires well.
Well, you think that XD Tyler currently has 6 seconds of penalties. As soon as they cross the line, there is 4 laps to go. Yari would have to go 2 seconds a lap off the pace to lose out to XD Tyler at this point.
Yeah.
And I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't think it will. But then I suppose we don't know what his tyre wear is or how close it is to going pop. But, I mean, he seems to be keeping the pace, considering his cards are that much older. But he's done well either way. Oh, yellow fly?
Well, in turn 1s, 2 and 3, I've just looked at the back of his car because the rears are what's going to go pop first, especially for a guy learning no TC. They're fine. Sham's in the pits.
Oh.
Getting a new wing. Kloppo might come 8th here.
I might, you know.
Let's see Kloppo cross the line. He is now P8. How much penalty does Sham have? Only 3. So there is a chance here that Sham could come back, but no, he's going to be too far back.
Yeah,
Sham's just thrown away what was a great position for him. And again, Yari is just still maintaining the gap actually this lap from the start of the previous one to XD Tyler. So those tyres, which you were thinking may go pop, I don't think will. The tyres are looking worse for wear on the car. They're not looking beautiful anymore. But, I mean, I don't know what it looks like on ultra-high graphics. No, Max needs to be banned Destin because he's going too fast. He's winning by 5 seconds right now. But Yari, I did do some practice with him yesterday. Sat with him for a bit, and his tyre wear was very good. I was like, what the hell are you doing to those tyres? Because he was getting like 2-3% a lap on a hard. So making it really is possible for him. As Billy Whiz, going back past Jitarachi, I think those mediums are done now because he's not really made anything. Little bit of contact. Yeah, 7-lap-old mediums to 10-lap-old hards. Jitta's tyres are going to be better than Billy Whiz's by a mile. Can Billy Whiz?
Even if no one.
Yeah, Billy Whiz actually, he must be running high wings.
He has to be because Jitarachi is, he's way faster in a straight line than what Billy Whiz did. If he's keeping ahead of him without the RS.
I think something more crucial here. The tyre delta between Yari and XD Tyler is 11 laps.
Oh, wow.
Yari's only losing 4 or 5 tenths a lap to XD Tyler as it stands, if that. And if we just take a look at the position changes for the race, Max hasn't moved, Yari hasn't moved, XD Tyler hasn't moved but might just have gotten DRS. Jitarachi's up 7, Billy hasn't moved, Bluefoot's up 10, and our biggest loser of the week is Shamrock, who's lost 6.
But
here comes XD Tyler, he does have DRS, it's a penultimate lap. Now, Yari is prone to bottle. He could spin. but XD Tyler's on stupid wings, isn't he? Yeah, this is just
GG high wings, so this is probably
30-28 wings, I think he said. The Shamnanigans is off. He's had a spin, but I don't think really going to bother anyone at this point because, you know, he's 44 seconds ahead of the next guy. He can just go to the end now. Happy as you want. Billy Whiz unable to do anything on Jitarachi anymore, so I think the race is practically wrapped up at this stage. I mean, XD Tyler's tyres are holding up better. Fozzie's... I mean, we can't... I think this sums up his race pretty nicely, actually. So, our race summary is done for him. He's 2 laps down, as it stands. There goes Fozzie's out the way of Yari, out the way of XD Tyler. Shamrock was going to score a point there. Sham, why are you retiring in the pits? But Max will come across to start the final lap, and shortly we will come back to him because first we've got a much more unimportant battle unless XD Tyler decides to become a terrorist.
Well,
he has raced for Mercedes before, so you never know. But down the main straight, XD Tyler is gaining like a few hundredths.
Yeah,
towards
you can
the end
tell
of the
how
straight, he's
tiring.
gaining a bit more. But the outbraking should be easy as you like. But it's...
No.
What fucking grip hacks does Yari have? And there goes XD Tyler for a little slide. I think that's XD Tyler's chances over unless he does something absolutely audacious to try and get this P2 on track. But I think he's just kind of accepting it is over now. And as all the battles have died down on track or aren't really very significant.
Oh no! Oh no!
No, Yari!
Oh no!
Oh, it's fine. He gets back onto the track. He's just behind Jitarachi. No, Yari! Yari! No! No!
Oh
no! Okay, I have to compose myself for a moment because Max is going to come towards the final corner. It has been truly dominant from the V car today. He has led practically every racing lap, and he wins in Mexico City by an almighty 15 seconds, I'm pretty sure. Second to come home will be XD Tyler. Third will be Jitarachi with 12 seconds of penalties, so Billy Wiz will come home third. Bluefoot comes home fifth with another 12 seconds of penalties. Yari is going to come across the line sixth on track. Where does he actually finish? Only fifth. After being on for P2. Can't quite come back enough. Some contact with XD Tyler, I'm sure, will be investigated post-race. Seventh for FaZe Monkey. It has been a good race from him. Nice spin across the line for you. At least on track it'll be 8th for Is That Me, but disappointment for him. 12 seconds of penalties will demote him to P9 because Kloppo, on his Formula Aero debut, will come home P8. A driver that was rumoured to have finished last this race comes home P8. But Yari spinning on the final lap, losing everything he had worked towards. What a disappointment for the Belgian driver, and I'm sure I have 2 DMs should I open them. Quiet boy, because this is the question. I'm done with this league. No, you are fucking not. I will drag your ass back in here if I need to. But that is the race over. Max from XD Tyler, from Billy Wiz, from Jitter, from Yari, Bluefoot, FaZe, Kloppo, Is That Me, and somehow a lap down. Ollie 1G is scoring a point. 11th for Shamrock, 12th for Fozzies, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th were all DNFs well before the final lap. That is the race over. My race director is crashing my game. So, good luck to anyone who wants a penalty removed because the race director has broken my game. So, I appreciate that. We will be back maybe in about 5 minutes if anyone wants an interview. Alright, well, no one is coming for an interview, so we will be back in a week's time to finish off the Formula Aero season. We'll be in Las Vegas down the strip. The championship battle is closer than ever after this race, and it will only be a few points between Max and Gaffo. But the championship pretty much wrapped up by Gaffo not attending. But we'll have to see in a week's time what happens in Vegas.